Fat even told me once, we were having a conversation, and she was like, Just, I'm not going to lie to you. I did not think you were going to make it through tour. She was like, after the first day, I had no doubt in my mind that you were going to leave. Oh. And I was like, I don't know if I was going to leave neither.
What's going on, creative people? Welcome to episode 4 of the Creatives Are Essential podcast. As usual, I got my bros with me. To my left, I got Will Stitt. Say hi.
Oh, hello.
I got Joe Stitt to my right.
On, friends.
And today is a very special day. We have a very special guest with us, our very first guest on the podcast, cinematographer, photographer, editor.
Ooh.
Most notably known for his work with great artist Tobe Nwigwe.
Ooh.
We have Justin Stewart in the building. What's going on, man?
Hello, I'm doing good. I didn't realize I was the first one.
Yeah. I mean,
you are the first
we're
one.
only 4 episodes in, so.
I was feeling so much less pressure before you said that.
Well, just pretend that I never said it.
Okay. Things like.
So what's going on? Like, first of all, start with, where are you based out of? And then people who don't know you, like, give us like a brief introduction about yourself.
I'm based in Houston, Texas, but I'm originally from San Antonio.
Okay.
I'm out here for probably 3 years now. But to start off with photography, that was the main thing that I wanted to do. And honestly, I'd say I still like photography more than videography, but
really
a lot more of that now at this point. So I was living in a town called Abilene, Texas, which is super small town. Well, not super small. I had like 125,000 people. And I went to college out there. Went to college for marketing, actually. And then towards my senior year, after my football career was over, I was like, man, I don't really know like what I like to do. And so that's when I picked up a camera. Long story short, just was kind of self-taught, and then ended up here. I'm sure we'll go more in depth on that story before this is over. But I don't want to answer too many of your questions at the very beginning.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I actually have a quick question. You said you're from San Antonio, right? And you're in Houston now. So best question right now is Spurs or Rockets?
Neither.
Neither?
What does that mean?
I want to say this live and on air. I hate the San Antonio Spurs.
Yikes.
My wife, from San Antonio, she's a Spurs fan. I have hated them my whole life.
Oh my God.
I'm a Lakers fan, which is even worse. Like,
how are you? You're a Lakers fan?
Lakers fan through and through.
How did that happen?
My pops. He just taught me to hate the Spurs. They were boring to us. We were like, me and my dad used to play basketball together a lot. We're like, we see people do what Tony Parker and Tim Duncan are doing.
Well, that's true.
Or every day, obviously at a much lower, less effective level.
That's true. But San Antonio, they are like a really, really boring team to watch.
Textbook. Robotic.
So, they got the championship.
Fundamentals.
Oh, they got plenty. I'll never say the Spurs suck.
You just hate them. Okay. Well, that's a hot take for you.
There you go.
All right. Well, tell us. You kind of hit on it a little bit, but tell us, like, how did you first get started into photography and video? Like, what was that journey like for you? Like I was saying, I played football my whole life. I ended up getting a scholarship to go to the school that I went to. I played there all 4 years. And so, football was the only thing that I really knew at the time. Inside of myself, I felt like, football's not that big of a deal to me. But like once it was over, I was like, oh man, I had like a huge identity crisis. And a lot of times people don't really prepare you. Coaches don't really prepare you for when sports are going to be over. Because, they got a job they got to do. They're trying to feed their family. So it's not like, you're here, you play football, I'm not super concerned about the person I am, but like, I'm not trying to really prepare you for when you're not here. I need you to produce here,
right?
And then I'm not here later. So yeah, went through an identity crisis. Looking back, I'd probably even say like a minor depression for a while. And then my best friend, his name is Torrin Davis. He started getting pretty popular on Instagram, like doing fitness stuff. And so we started taking pictures for him, which we were just doing on like iPhones and stuff initially. And then he rented a camera from our library at the college one day. And, you know, I was just using it on auto. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Like we all do. So yeah, we started taking pictures on that. We wanted them to be a little bit better for Instagram. And then as time went on, I was like, well, man, like we have to stop taking pictures so early because it's getting dark. Like I don't really know what else I'm supposed to do. I don't know how to. And you know, as that went on, I got more interested in it. He started getting more buzz. I remember when I learned what like aperture and an f-stop was and how to make the background on the pictures blurry.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think that was like a turning point because I was like, oh, bro, I got it. So yeah, that's how I started off, was doing that with him. And really, he was kind of one of the few people I took pictures of for probably like a year and a half. But we would shoot like at any chance we got. Like we would probably shoot like 4 or 5 times a week, just like in random places.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's how I got started. He ended up moving back to Houston. And I stayed at Abilene. And then I just YouTube University, man.
Yeah.
YouTube,
Yeah.
every single thing I know how to do: editing, lighting, all that kind of stuff. So that's how I got started.
Now we know, like you just say, like once you got out of college. First of all, let me say this: I completely relate to what you're talking about. Not only like did I have my own little football depression, because I played football in college as well, and it's like
in high school.
And in high school, college. And like, I can't tell you how many guys, including myself, had to go through that same thing because you put all your chips in this basket of athleticism. And then when it don't work out, it's like, well, who am I outside of this?
What do I do now?
You know? But it's so real, so real. Now, in the same way, what was that moment when you said, okay, I want to do this as a career? You know, it's like, yeah, you're getting invested in being a photographer. Like, yo, this is fun. I like this. I like taking these pictures. Oh, snap, the background's blurry. Oh, snap, I can do something with it. Like, what was the moment when you said, you know what, I think I want to pursue this as a career?
Probably in like 2017. I did a photo shoot for this boutique in the town I was living in Abilene. And like got paid like a substantial amount for like what I was doing at the time.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, like if I did this, you know, you start doing math in your head. If I did this X amount of time, I could make the same amount I'm making my 9 to 5 and blah, blah. And my 9 to 5 was Enterprise rent a car when I got out of college.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was horrible. So terrible. And that was another thing I think was like, I think if I had a first like career that I enjoyed more than working at Enterprise, I may not have been so like anxious to like take the chance and risk it. But I was like, man, if this is what like the workforce is like, because that was the first time I had to go to work like every day, 7 to 6 p.m., like dealing with, like that was the first time I had to do that. And I was like, man, if this is what this feels like every day, I'm supposed to do this till I'm 65. Like, nah, this ain't no. So probably 2017. I had been in my job for probably like a year or so, and I was like, I can't do it. I'm wasting my life away.
Yeah.
So
I feel you on that one, man. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, how old were you at that point?
2017, I was 24.
Okay.
So I had been doing photography for a few years, and then I'm I brought up my wife earlier. I was married too. I had been married for about like 3 years at that time, so that was another thing that I kind of had to take into account. When deciding, I'm gonna like follow this dream and try to make it happen. But my wife is like, if that's what you want to do, that's what I want you to try to do. Because she was like, you're not even the same person, working this job that you hate. You're not even the same man that I married. You're completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
support like that, like, nah, go do it, try it, definitely was like the little extra oomph that I needed for sure.
I'm about to say that's dope that you have that support, because it's like one thing, it's like, okay, I want to pursue this, but I also have a whole like family now to take care of that I have to provide for. So it's like, do I take this risk of doing the thing that I want to do, or like stay with this job that has security, you know?
Right.
That's dope though.
Do you think that that's like a driving motivation for a lot of creatives to like, they just don't feel, 'cause I know that I definitely can relate, not being able to get with the traditional 9 to 5, you know? And of course that's what a lot of us saw growing up, because that's the what our parents did, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, I think, you know, it's hard because, like you said, that's the security. And those early stages of being a creative, you know, I think a lot of times people, you know, feel like they're where they need to be earlier than they really are. Or like they just, you know, a lot of people don't get the chance to get a mentor when they're creative. Like a lot of times you get to get around the types of sets and projects and stuff that you want to be around. So like, I think also not being able to see it in front of you, and that 9 to 5 is right there. Like it's your real life. So
Yeah,
I think that makes it super difficult. But I think support is a huge part too. Like people telling you that you can do it. Because my wife telling me that, you know, my parents, like you said, work 9 to 5. So that's what you see. And my dad was just like, you know, son, I had a lot of things that I wanted to do that I just like didn't do because they, you know, my parents had kids relatively early. So that was another thing. They didn't have the, you know, their life wasn't set up in a way where they could just be like, if I don't make no money this month, like I'm cool.
right.
Yeah.
So yeah, just like kind of what my life circumstances were, and having support from like the people around me. I'm like, if I don't try to do this now, then, you know, there's not going to be a better time than this. So.
Right.
Okay. Well, 2017, it wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't.
You know, so from like then when you know, got paid however much you got paid for this project to now, like your work is being viewed by like millions of people. You know, you shot the BET Hip Hop Awards, you know, segment for Tobe.
Dope.
You know, like the concept for the videos being used for the Apple Music commercial. Like that's a big climb. Like what did that look like for you? How did you get linked with Tobe and from, you know, 2017 to where you are now?
So this is where I might go long. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Hey, take your time.
Yeah, it's God, man. That's first off. That's the first thing I'm gonna say. The way that things have happened has just been like insane. 2017 I was living in Abilene, which is, to give like context to where that is, it's like 6 hours northwest of Houston.
Okay.
And my wife is a pharmacist. And so she was in pharmacy school at the time. And we found out in 2018 that we were moving to Houston. We found out like April 2018 that we were moving to Houston in June for her to do residency. And I had found Tobe's music probably like the very beginning of 2018, maybe the end of 2017, because he actually played ball. A guy who was a senior at my college when I got there was a freshman at UNT when Tobe was there. When Tobe was a senior at UNT. And so that guy posted, man, what song was it? They're wearing yellow. They're at the AV football stadium. Going from the SWAT, you can get your issue. I know the words, but I don't remember the name of the song. But anyway.
I know a video. I know which one you're talking about too. I just don't remember the name.
Okay, well, he posted the video on Instagram and I was like, yo, who is this guy? Like, I don't hear nobody making music like this. And so I think like what a lot of people do with Tobe, because the catalog is so big and it's intentional, I was able to just like go dive in. Like there's a bunch of stuff for me to go listen to and watch. And, you know, he's done a bunch of podcasts and all that stuff. So I'm just like diving in and like, this is all I'm listening to for days. Now get to Sundays, I'm looking for him every Sunday, like waiting. And so probably I had been listening for, you know, maybe like 6 months or so. We find out we're moving to Houston. And so the day I find out we're moving to Houston, I post on an Instagram story. When I moved to Houston, I want to shoot a Tobe Nwigwe show.
Oh, wow.
Just put that on my story, put it out, posted it, tagged him in it. But like, I didn't hear back from him or nothing. And, you know, I just said I want to shoot a show. It was real small, you know what I'm saying? A little dream.
Mm-hmm.
And so fast forward, me and my wife get to Houston. I started shooting concerts because I had in Abilene, there are no concerts. So I started shooting concerts when I came to Houston at Warehouse Live. Got a contact over there, and I was shooting shows. I was probably shooting 3 or 4 shows a week because I was going to get into concert photography. I wanted to do festivals. You know, I wanted to go on the road with artists. I wanted to be like, y'all know who Greg Noir is?
Yeah.
Okay, Greg Noir was like the driving thing for me. Like I was like trying to get into that line of work.
Got you.
Okay.
So I'm shooting shows, and then after the shows would be over, I'd stay up, you know, as long as it took. I'd probably edit what I thought were the best 4 or 5 photos. And then I'd send them to the artists and like try to get it to them before whoever they had on the road with them was giving them pictures.
Yeah.
And so I was doing that. And the second show I ever shot, the second one was Trader Truth was having a show in Houston, like during his trade weekend thing that he does here in Houston. And Tobe ended up being one of the like guest performers.
Look at God.
I'm telling you. We go so I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like this just lined up, just nutty. And like Waka Flocka, Bootsy, a few other like really big name people was there, but like I wasn't concerned about none of that. I was like, Tobe is here. Like this is what I wanted to shoot. So you know, when his set starts, I'm going. I'm like, I'm trying to get on my composition right, make sure my light is good, everything. I'm like, this is
got to be perfect.
Yeah, and so I ended up taking this picture where he's like screaming in the mic, and he like got his vest up like real high, and it's like just this red light like just over his whole face. Everything's just like red and black, and I got it up on my wall over here actually. And so when I took that picture, I was like, oh, this one's special. Like, hopefully he'll post it. So I edited that, sent it to him. He posted it like the next morning. And so, I mean, this is when he had probably, you know what I'm saying? He still had a good following. It was probably like 200,000 or somewhere in there.
Okay.
And so I'm like, I'm in there. Like he reposted, like, oh, we live. Like he about to ask me to go on tour. Blah, blah, blah. I'm sitting here thinking one little reposted picture is gonna mean something like that. So I'm hyped the whole next day. So he was gonna have a show at White Oak Music Hall, his first concert in Houston, like 2 weeks after that maybe. And so I'm like, oh, well, I'm definitely going to be able to get in. Like, I'm just going to hit him on Instagram, I'm going to be in the show right there.
You're VIP now.
Exactly. He know me. We boys. You know, I'm hitting him in the DM like, hey, bro, I can get to the show, yada, yada, yada. I can get a pass. I'm trying to hit management, trying to hit, you know what I'm saying? I know them people now, so I still be like, that's crazy how y'all ignored me. Trying to come to the show and y'all are out of line still. So I don't hear back from nobody.
That sucks.
I'm seeing everybody pictures from everything else. And then I see that Greg Noir was there and he took some fire. And I was like, they didn't need me there no way. I mean, they had Greg there. So fast forward, I just keep shooting shows. I'm not in contact with him no more after that. I'm just still shooting shows, trying to get into festivals, do all that stuff. So this is probably like July 2018. About December 2018, they post something on Instagram that they're looking for like an intern to do like photo and video work for them. So I send in my portfolio, which I now have, right? Because I've been shooting 3 to 4 shows a week for the last 6 months.
Right.
If I hadn't been doing that, I wouldn't have had nothing to show him that like pertained to what he does. Because everything else I did was like fashion, portrait, like, you know what I'm saying? The stuff.
Yeah.
That's a whole topic in itself, honestly.
Exactly. And so I have this just like extensive thing of shooting concerts to send to him. And so I send that. I hear back probably like within a week. And so I'm like, I'm in there again. I'm telling him, I'm in this thing. I done made it. We together. And so I end up like having a meeting with him and Fat and his manager at the time. And so we're sitting there, we're talking, we're chopping it up. And the conversation is really not even about like, you know, what I can do as far as photography stuff goes. It was about like, what kind of person are you? And there was a lot of things that we just like were the same on. You know, he played football in college, I played. We both kind of went through the like, what's next in my life phase. All that stuff. So that's January. They're about to go on tour in March on the first tour that they did. The Tobe from the Stewart. And so, you know, I'm sitting here thinking, oh, these boys about to take me on tour. They've known me for a month. And they're about to take me on the road. So
I like how you keep getting ahead of yourself.
You're right.
All the time. And I've learned to stop doing that. But I was doing it at the time because it was just amazing to me that it was falling in line like this.
Right.
And so,
like, it's destiny. It's destiny. I'm going on tour.
This is it, guys.
This is what God has for me. He promised. And so, yeah, they go on the road in March. Obviously, I don't go. I don't hear from them again after we have the conversation at the coffee shop. So,
like, man, I must not be a great person. They were asking about my character. I must be terrible.
Well, I thought I did good. Apparently, I did not. And so I just keep shooting shows. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, like, because I'm inching closer and closer. And so I started telling my parents about Tobe, and I'm like, yeah, if I can go on tour with like anybody, like it's this dude. Like I just want to go on tour in general, but if I can go with anybody, it's this dude. And I think I actually told them that before I met him. And so they get back from tour. I just start doing stuff for free. Like I'm just wherever they need me to be, whenever they need me to be there, I'm showing up. And so, and one of the things I actually did when I moved to Houston was I was Ubering. Because I was like, if I Uber, I can make money, but I can be free for whenever opportunities arise.
Right. That's smart.
Yeah. And, you know, that was one of the things that was tough because there's this like stigma about Uber driving, right? And so people in my life, people around me were like, you Ubering, dog? Like, I'm like, yeah, I'm Ubering, but like, it's in order to.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can't be working a job where I got a schedule.
Right.
And somebody hits me for something and now I'm trying to be like, oh, can I take off, please?
Yeah.
That was me. That used to be me.
So, yeah. So I was doing that. So they started calling me for like, can you come to the studio and shoot some behind the scenes? Can you come to the video and shoot some behind the scenes? And, you know, I'm getting ahead of myself the way that we realized that I do. I did not do a lick of video work before I started working with Tobe. I had never one video.
Oh, wow.
I didn't start doing video stuff until March of 2019. After they didn't take me on the tour, I had convinced myself I was supposed to be going on. And it was because they called me and they said, do you do video too, or do you just do photos? And I was like, oh, I only do photos. And I remember his manager specifically said, oh, well, the other guy does videos. So, all right, thanks. We appreciate it. And I was like, dang. Like, I miss.
Hey, he had to tell you that.
Right.
I was going to say, dang.
Could have left that part out.
Right. Hey, sorry. The other guy's better than you. So, bye.
Way better than you. So now.
Dang.
But yeah, so I was like, that was the first time I was like, man, I missed out on this opportunity because I don't do video work. Like that was the first time I felt like not doing videos like set me back. Because people have been telling me like, oh, you should try like getting in the video. You should start doing videos. And I'm like, nah, I'm cool on all that moving stuff. Like just give me my photos. So yeah, I started doing video work because of that one phone call. And then I started showing up for them, like I said, doing stuff for free. I'm staying up all night to edit and caption stuff. So I do that from probably like April till November. And they called me like October of 2019. And they're like, hey, we're going on the tour. We like been talking about it and we want you to like come on the road with us. And so now, you know, it's fine. Exactly. I thought I was a lot. 2 times already. I had to convince myself.
He's like, but we want you to drive the bus. We don't.
Bus driver jumped out last minute. He could be a fast learner.
So yeah, they take me on the road with them. And that was the worst 6 weeks of my life.
Wow. Why? Like
Plot twist.
right.
It was a hard work that I had never done before. And it was unfamiliar because right, I've been doing video for 6 months at this point. So like I'm still in the early like learning phase.
Yeah.
And like now I'm thrown in this like whirlwind of jumping from city to city. My luggage is underneath the bus. I'm staying in a hotel here, hotel there. I mean, y'all follow Tobe, so y'all know how much content we put out.
Yeah.
So I'm shooting from like when he gets up, usually, which was like 7 a.m. till I'm all day through the show. Show is over, probably shows will usually end maybe midnight.
Jesus.
And then I have to go to the bus and turn around 2 videos.
Wow.
For the next day. And so
when are you sleeping?
that's why it was the worst 6 weeks of my life.
Also, how many hard drives did you go through?
Right. Yeah. That was my next question.
I went through, I made it through with 2 4 terabyte hard drives.
That's
Jesus.
a lot for a month and a half.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Gosh.
And like, you know, it's one thing to have to edit the videos. And so I'm usually making like kind of a daily vlog type thing.
Yeah.
And then there will be like a moment from the show. So we would either do kind of like a highlight reel type thing from the show, but most of the time we try to find like a specific, you know, maybe 2 or 3 minutes that was like super special that we could just put out. But the toughest thing was doing the captions, like because I'm having to type.
Oh
yes.
I think we've all had that experience.
Gosh,
man, captions. Captions are my kryptonite. I'm slowly improving, but I'm like, can y'all help me write this caption, please? And they like, you on your own.
But you're talking about the actual like the subtitles, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, those are killer too.
They take so much time.
Yeah.
I'm like, do they really? Can't you just turn your audio on? Like they don't really need to.
Right.
You know what he's saying.
Read it, right?
Yeah.
But so on that note, right? And I've been doing captions since, you know, I started working with them back in March. So like the captions aren't anything new to me. But now I'm not sleeping. And
right.
Right.
Type and like make sure things are spelled properly and
yeah.
all that kind of stuff. And so, but I was like that too. I was like, man, these captions, like people can hear you. Like, why you got me typing? And then we had these 2 girls, like, they weren't like all the way deaf, but they were like
hard of hearing,
essentially deaf. Yeah, like they were legally deaf.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were like, the captions, like the fact that you put captions on all your videos, like means so much to us. And I was like, the captions have a purpose too. Like I hate them. I still hate them.
Yeah.
Like, even after hearing that beautiful story, you know what I'm saying, how much they mean to this person, I still hate the captions, but because I now understand that they're making a difference for somebody.
Yeah, it helps. But even when you said that, I was like,
gosh, yeah.
Now you definitely can't get rid of them.
Exactly. So yeah, pumping out those 2 videos, we did 29 shows in 6 weeks. But I mean, and it's not like I was only putting out videos when we had shows. I'm putting out videos on the days off too. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was just a rough 6 weeks. Those 6 weeks showed me like what I was made of and what I could do.
Right.
I didn't want to ever have to do it that way again. But yeah, I probably ran off an average of 3 hours of sleep a night, maybe. And that was like a scattered 3 hours. Like as soon as we got to the bus, like I'd go to sleep and like get an hour in and then get up, edit some, maybe go get another hour in and then finish up. And then like whatever time I had left kind of between when I thought he would be up is kind of the rest of what I got. Jesus. In the first 3 days, I slept 3 hours total.
What?
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. The first 3 days I slept 3 hours total. Cause I never even been on tour. Going on tour is already something all in itself.
Yeah, it is.
and then having to be working the whole time and constantly pumping out the videos was added on top of that. And so we did Dallas, OKC, Phoenix, back to back to back. And I slept 3 hours total. And
that would have been the worst footage I've ever shot in my life.
Bro,
the camera would have been like, it would have been terrible.
Were the beds comfortable at least?
Man, I was so tired it didn't even matter. Like, I was so sleepy, but so high strung because I was like, I have to get everything. Like, I can't miss a moment. If I miss a moment, and if something happens, or if Toby's like, hey man, why didn't you get this? Or why weren't you recording when this was happening? Like, I had that pressure on myself. And so even if I did get a little bit of time to like go lay down in the bed, I'm like, I'm supposed to be working.
Yeah.
So there wasn't even really like, there wasn't quality sleep happening. I was basically laying there like half awake, half asleep. Yeah, that was probably for the first month of the tour where I wasn't like actually sleeping. But like I said, those 6 weeks, I think those 6 weeks probably put me a year ahead of where I would have been if I hadn't gone on tour.
I was just about to ask you that. Like, do you feel like that experience prepared you for where you are now? Because you guys are still putting out content like regularly, and it's like very high quality content. And I know I'm kind of like jumping here, but like that's a lot still.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of going on the tour before I got put in the position of like, now you do like the videos, like you do the music videos, you do like the promos that we putting out, you do like the main things that we're giving out to, you know, what's now 1 million followers. Having that pressure on me then and like working off of no sleep and understanding like, you know, sometimes I have to sacrifice the sleep to get done what has to be done. And so now, man, putting out the videos every week and like captioning the videos and everything just feels so like regular. Like nothing, it feel, and it, like I understand it's not regular, and it like what we do is hard.
Right.
Because going through the tour and then like now being around, it just feels like the way that the week goes. Like I wake up on Monday and I'm like, okay, this is what we got to get done to get things done. Like I said, I was up till 4:30 last night working on something we decided to shoot last minute. So that tour just like kind of showed me how far I could push it. I don't intend to keep pushing it like that, but when I have to, like I know it's down in there somewhere.
Yeah. I think one of the really cool things that when talking about your journey from 2017 to now is the fact that, yes, what we do is it's fun, but like you said, it's hard. And I think a lot of people think that, well, because I don't have a traditional 9 to 5, that it's just easy and it's great, but it's not. There are real struggles and there are real, obstacles that we have to go through. So we get to this point where we are now and people see what we're doing right now. It's like, whoa, but they don't see what it took to get there.
There
So
was a price that was paid for that.
Yeah. I think that's dope, man.
Oh man, but you said something right there, because people think like, a lot of times like my mother-in-law, for instance, will tell people like what I'm doing, and like they think like it's a lot of people who don't understand like what we do. They think like being a photographer, like doing videography is like something that's only supposed to be a hobby, and so they think it's a joke.
Right. Yeah.
Like, is he making any money doing that? Like, is it a real job and blah, blah, blah. And I have that, with a lot of older people in my life, because I talk to older friends who don't, their minds are stuck and I need to be working a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, also it's just like, the 9 to 5 is like, leaving the 9 to 5 and having the freedom of being a creative, like sounds like it's the fun, like easy going, I just kind of do what I want thing. Like, but it's like, bro, I work now whenever I need to be working.
Right.
And so,
there's no set schedule with it.
Yeah, I have a set 8-hour day. Like if Toby calls me at 5 o'clock in the morning and it's something I need to do that I like didn't get done when I was supposed to get it done, or, there's something we need to have done now because something needs to be going on. Like I get up and I do it.
Yeah.
Like I can't be like, oh, it's not 9 o'clock yet. Like
And that's the trade-off that people don't see. Like I always say, like, working a 9 to 5 is, even though you may not enjoy it, it's definitely the easier thing to do. You clock in, you do your job, you clock out, and then you don't got to think about it until, you go back to work.
So you go back.
Man, those Best Buy days, man. They were miserable, but like so much easier. It's like, I'm like, this is what y'all complain about?
Yeah.
I'm used to being self-employed, and this is what y'all complain about. This seems pretty easy to me.
And everybody's like, "Oh yeah, I'm my own boss, and this and that." And I'm like, essentially, you're trading out a boss for a bunch of other random bosses.
Yeah.
Because it's like when you're working for this person and that person, you're just like, imagine your boss, but just several different ones that you got to deal with.
All the random people you work with, you having to deal with like multiple traits you don't like. Whereas like,
right, yeah,
that's facts.
Like this thing that boss does, but like I can get over it.
Yeah,
like,
that's so true.
Somebody who's like a micromanager, and this person is just rude and
yeah.
So
I think it's funny how too it's like people are just like, well, you can edit that, right? You can edit my smile, right? I'm like, not necessarily.
like I'm not a magician.
Photoshop not gonna do it.
Right.
Right. Okay, so you were talking about how you had never even done video. So now you get thrown on this tour where you're producing video, well, not for the first time, but in that setting, like it's an intense environment. And then fast forward now, you're doing like music videos. You know, like what was that transition like? How did you become the official like music video guy?
Yeah, so they asked me to like come on as like a full-time person, I guess, in like February. And so
of 2020?
Of 2020, yeah.
Okay.
So everything I had done up to the point of the tour was free. I wasn't making $1 off of them. I was doing other projects and stuff like to make my money.
Oh wow.
But everything I was doing for Tobe specifically, like I was just showing up like off the strength of like I believe in what y'all are doing.
Including the tour?
No, tour was the first time that I got.
Oh, okay. I was like, boy, jeez.
I don't know if you saw my face. I'm like, okay.
So yeah, that's when I came on like as the guy. Like I think after a tour, because for that group over there, man, they've done so many things like with nothing, and they've overcome so many things, and they have such a mindset of like, it's a very specific way of thinking to be a part of the team over there if you want to be successful with them. And so, it's just like make no excuses, like kind of be resourceful. We don't want to hear why you can't do something. Like, let's figure out a way to do it. Cause that was kind of what they did from the beginning. Like, Tobe was just shooting on his iPhone initially because he didn't have nobody who wanted to shoot his videos for free because he had no money to get nobody. Then he started picking up some buzz. People started coming. So I think because of, they built things from nothing, they want to see what type of people, what type of person you are, what type of worker you are, what kind of mindset you have before they just like kind of bring you all the way in.
Yeah.
And so, because it's obviously a family thing over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
In. So I think after a tour, after they saw, because Fat even told me once, we were having a conversation and she was like, Just, I'm not gonna lie to you. I did not think you were gonna make it through tour. She was like, after the first day, I had no doubt in my mind that you were going to leave. Oh. And I was like, I didn't know I was gonna leave neither.
We on the same page.
But so I think after getting through the tour, and like producing at the rate that I did, they were like, oh, this guy is for real. We want to keep him around. And so that's when they started having me shooting the music videos. I shot the first one like February of last year. It was called Slow Down, and it was kind of a one-off because we were putting out the live music videos from the tour that I was having to put together. Okay. So this was the first like new, like actual music video, like traditional way that they do it that I shot. And then, from there, I just been shooting all of them. The early ones, obviously, you look at your early work, you're like, I could have did that better. Yeah. But they were patient enough with me to like allow me to grow and like, give get my feet underneath me and, get my skills together, because I was still less than a year in at that point.
Right.
Of making videos. So, yeah.
So that's February, and then March, Corona happened.
Yeah.
And it's quarantine, and then, the whole, the quarantine mint videos start coming out.
Yeah.
And I'm just seeing them like one after the next. And I'm like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
And finally, it was the Make It Home video for me. And I was like, yo, who shot this? Because this is great.
Yeah.
It's such a simple concept. But then that's when I reached out to you. And I was like, yo, y'all are doing y'all are doing amazing work over there.
Yeah. And that's one of the funny things too, because it's like the whole mindset for us is always like, what's the next thing? Because we put stuff out every week, so you don't really have time to like harp and enjoy nothing.
Yeah.
And so like I remember when when Make It Home took off the way that it did, and like when Try Jesus took off the way that it did, like I was like, we literally we would be 2 weeks down the line from the video, and I'm thinking we shot this video. I'm thinking this video came out like 2 months ago, a month ago.
You're that far removed from it.
Oh, we get out of it quick. Like as soon as it's done, we'll kind of, Sunday is, when the video comes out, it's kind of the day we'll watch it. We'll see what kind of numbers it's doing, all that kind of stuff. And then Monday rolls around and it's like, all right, this is like a new, we treat everything like sports, because he plays sports, Nell plays sports, I play sports. So it's like, that was great. We did good. We had a great game. We won. We won last week. But like, it's a new game week this week.
Yeah.
We got to try to again.
That's dope. I love that. I love that.
Yeah. So it's but yeah, man, when Corona happened, obviously we had to pivot like everybody else did, figure out what we were going to do. And, people were sitting at home, and the same way I got kind of engulfed into what Tobe does and like the music and everything. It's like when you find them, there's so much to dive into. And so I think, people having to sit at home, we do something, they find them, and it's like, oh, well, like I have this dude been doing this he's been doing this every week for 3 years, 5, how long it's been. And so, yeah, that, stuff obviously started skyrocketing after that.
So to follow up with that question, like so that transition, obviously you guys had to pivot. Like how are you guys coming up with like the concepts for these videos? Like how did that come about?
Corona, like everybody else. And like I said, it's the mindset over there is like, we don't make excuses. Even a global pandemic, you got to figure out how to work through that. And so, it's like, well, what can we do? We can shoot at home. We can't go nowhere. We can't be outside. At the very beginning of quarantine, they were like, you don't need to do nothing. You need to be in the house.
Right.
Don't go outside. Don't do nothing. Be inside. So, it was like, he said they shot some music videos in his spot that he used to live in before they lived where we shoot the videos at now sometimes. And so they kind of already had been doing, and that was another thing. They just kind of fell into place with this, because we did a lot of stuff that we already do. And so they used to shoot videos at his old crib on the couch, fat twisting his hair. Like that was how things got started.
Right.
But then as things progressed, they would still do that every once in a while. Because early on, it's hard to get, 5 dancers to show up every time. It's hard to get this, when you're doing it every week. If you're giving people that much advance, it's not as big of a deal. But when you're doing stuff every week, there's times where you got to, maneuver a little differently. So they had shot videos at his house before. So it was an easy transition for us to now shoot videos at the house, because we have to due to coronavirus.
Right.
And so, the aesthetic in their living room and everything is mint in there already. The walls are mint.
That was already there.
It was already there.
Yeah, all the mint stuff was in there. That was just how his crib was set up. Like, that was just him on his own, like, feng shui, this is what I want to live in type stuff. Like, he didn't do that because we needed to start shooting videos. So, like, they was like, oh, well, let's get an aesthetic together. Like, that was a little bit, like, already.
That's what's up. I did not know that.
Yeah. And so it was just an easy transition to go in there and shoot the music videos. What is amazing to me is the way that we found a way to, like, make all the videos in the living room look so different.
That's what I'm saying. Because each video, I mean, really, like I said, the Make It Home video was like the turning point for me. I'm like, this is shot in like one room.
Yeah.
And it's such a fluid concept. But then next week, it's a completely different video shot in the same room, but looks completely different.
Yeah. And that was, like we kind of have a framework we work in for the videos, right? Like every video is different, but there's always kind of similar staples that we use in every single video. And so having that framework makes it to where we can take one single space and make, I don't know how many videos we've had in there now, probably like 10, but, take a single space like that and do something different every single time. There's some videos where we moved the furniture to different spots. There's certain videos where we, make people appear, bring chairs in, take chairs out, all that kind of stuff. And so, because we all kind of work in those same parameters, and we have one team, that's another thing too, is we use the same people.
Yeah.
And so, Toby's having a hard time coming up with a concept, and Nate's like, oh, well, like we haven't done this in here. Nate, the director, I don't know if y'all be seeing his name on the videos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Nate Edwards, right?
Yeah. So Nate will be like, well, we haven't done this, or we can do this way. And if Nate's like, oh, well, I'm not sure what we should do here, then I'm like, oh, well, what I'm saying, we can just do this, do that. And so, having multiple people that understand what the style is and what the, what the goal is, how we want things to look, really, I think that took us a long way for sure. Yeah.
So my next question is now, like, okay, you're doing BET Hip Hop Awards. Like, you guys are like doing all these different things. Like, how does that feel like now, especially knowing where you started? Like, how does that feel now to know, like, yo, my work is like touching all these different people on all these different platforms?
I can't believe it sometimes, to be completely honest. Because, like we sat here and talked about, from like the beginning of like taking it super seriously to now hasn't been that long.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, I just didn't think it was going to get here that quickly. I always like, had faith that if I like, kept working and all that kind of stuff, I would get here. But yeah, man, it's just trippy when people like, when you're starting off early on, you're trying to reach out to people and soak up knowledge from people and send people little DMs. You see their video and you like one thing about it, say like, oh, what did you have advice for me? What kind of camera did you use? What lens you got on there? All that kind of stuff. And it was when people like started reaching out to me for like the questions I had probably been asking people 6 months ago. I was
That's
like,
crazy.
oh, like, yeah, like this is like making an impact and like something special is being done here. And I think a lot of times as creatives, we're so picky, right? Because we're not comparing our work to like where we came from. That's not what we ever do. We're comparing it to like the people that we look up to, the people who we strive to.
That's a good point.
So, sometimes I think we have to take the pressure off of ourselves.
Yeah. We're our biggest critics.
Exactly. And I think because I put so much pressure on like my work and stuff, a lot of times I do forget like kind of how far I've come and like how big of an impact is being had on people, because a lot of times my main focus is like, what does the product look like? Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I try not to have that mindset all the time. Obviously, I'm trying to execute and do a great job on things, but I think understanding that like, some of the pressure I'm putting on myself is like over the top and like super nitpicky.
Yeah.
And the point is for it to like touch and inspire other people.
Yeah. I do want to know, because you kind of brought it up, what has been your favorite project that you've worked on? Mm-hmm. And then also your least favorite?
My favorite music video, I think the video I like the most is Bozo's with Big Crit. The one in the red when they're the theater. That's definitely that's the one that I visually like the most, like the lighting and just like the video is super crisp. Like everything just looks real beautiful. That red looks great with the melanated skin of the dancers. That's probably the one I think looks the best. I think my favorite one is honestly 1,000,000. The one we shot for when he hit 1,000,000 followers.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, we just used the space in a way that we hadn't done it at all before. And the wide shot that we have where Tobe kind of appears back and it's like the Angels, Tobe, Nick, who's the guy who plays the keys for us, and Nell's kind of off to the right. That wide shot for me, I was like, this is like everything culminated in like one scene. So that's probably my favorite one. My least favorites, I don't even know if I should say.
Oh Lord.
It's not my least favorite anymore, but I was honestly like really down on Make It Home.
Are you serious?
Yes, I was really down on it because I was the, dang, I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want people to go back and watch the video and be looking at my face. So I'm not going to give too much, but I wasn't super happy with the way my camera movements were. And so like I would watch the video and I'd just be like, this is bad. Like this is
no.
Bad. And they're gonna be like, this cameraman did an awful job on this symbol. Because I did not think it was good.
What?
But again, that's the nitpick portion of what we do.
Bruh, I watched that video so many times. Like I know the choreography. I know it. Like, bruh.
They're gonna give me some vocals in a song at some point. They're gonna let me sing.
Can you sing?
No. I can't.
Well, I'm looking forward to that one.
They're gonna let me sing. I'm gonna get something.
You should just do one on your own and like also be your own dancer and you just kind of do your own as you sing. Like figure it out, man. I think that'd be dope.
I think so too. I'm gonna hire my own camera crew.
Hey, we're available. Just say the word.
I'm gonna fly y'all down. I'm gonna sneak in the house. You know.
All right.
Yeah, and I'm still trying to get them to give me a mid outfit. I'm like, y'all, I'm a part of the team. I know I'm not in front of the camera, but like,
that's all right though.
Hit up the clothes man, give me some mint pants. Man.
That's all right though. That's why we got you in the mint, creatives are essential hoodie.
Yeah.
Always repping. That's crazy. You they didn't give you nothing.
Nah, no mint, man. I'm out here wearing my same black on black uniform every time. the disrespect. I'm for the next tour. I'm gonna have me some mint clothes. I'm gonna look a part of the team.
They gonna be like, where he get this?
Where you get this from? Don't worry about it.
Just like, you know what? I'm gonna do my own. Y'all gave me an idea. You can't wait on people to do stuff for you.
That's it.
Preach.
But also, when you do it, just make sure you record it so that we can see that moment happen.
I got you. I'm gonna be mint down to the socks. See, they be wearing white socks. They don't got the whole thing. They wear white socks. They need to get some mint socks.
Hey, introduce them to it.
I got you.
All right. So before we, time is far spent, but before we get you out of here, we have a segment that we just launched on Instagram. Well, not just, but we're starting to get back into it. Called Creative Confessions. I'm not sure if you checked that one out, but it's just a few questions that I want you to answer as honest as possible. So the first one is, what do you? And you may have answered this one already, but what do you struggle with most as a creative?
Confidence. I think.
Really?
I think confidence is the thing I struggle with the most. Because this whole time we've been talking about, because obviously this is the thing I do the most is working with Tobe, right?
Yeah. And
so I think I honestly haven't branched out to execute my own ideas the way that I want to. Because when you're working with somebody as creative as Tobe, somebody who is so sure of what they want, their purpose, their everything. He's so sure of everything. When I'm trying to think about how I want to execute my own ideas, kind of moving into 2021, doing more personal projects, I'm like, I don't know if I can I know that I can, but I don't have like the just like supreme confidence of like, oh, I'm gonna be able to like execute this in the way that I see it in my head.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say my confidence is the thing I struggle with the most, for sure.
So you know how writers have writer's block?
Yes.
When it comes to creative block, how do you deal with that? What are some things you do to combat it?
I kind of have people that I go back to, that I'll watch a lot of their stuff. Movies, a lot of times to do that. I'm sure for a lot of people who do videography and stuff, movies to do that for them. But I just kind of try to find like concepts and ideas and like stories to tell, and then base my like kind of visual ideas off of that.
All right. So number 3, what is the biggest fear? What is your biggest fear as a creative? What
I'm going to do when I'm older. How I'm going to transition this into like being a 55, 60-year-old man. Because, you know, right now when you're young, progressive, popular people will be like more willing to work with you, because right now you have the young, popular, progressive ideas.
Yeah.
They feel comfortable working with young people. People watch young people on the internet, on social media, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of a young people's game. And so I think a lot about like, you know, do I think I'm still going to be a shooter when do I plan on being a shooter when I'm 55? Like, am I trying to have a steady cam in my hands at 60 years old, like shooting videos? Or like, you know, how do I transition into continuing to do this thing that I enjoy so much, but it being something that's, you know, more conducive and more fitting to where I'll be in my life at that time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Last question for you. What advice would you give to, you know, other creatives, whether they're new in it or, you know, they've been doing it for a while, based on your experience?
Probably a few things. The first thing I would say is like, I guess this is probably an overarching thing, but like really work at it. Like we talked about, a lot of people see this as like a hobby. They see it as something that's just like fun, enjoyable to do. They like making cool looking videos, but you have to like work. And I think the consistency is the most important thing. Just and putting yourself in a position to be ready when your opportunities come. Like I was saying, I shot 3 to 4 shows a week because I knew what type of opportunities I wanted to come my way. And I wanted to be prepared when those opportunities came. And so like whatever chances I got to like practice at that and, you know, have evidence that I can do it. If somebody else asks me, you know, can you do this? I think that's probably the biggest thing. And then being open to learn. Like I learned a lot of the stuff I know about video, obviously from YouTube, but I have a buddy of mine that's, you know, he's maybe a year older than me, I think. And, you know, a lot of times people aren't willing to learn directly from people that are the same age as them, or somebody they feel like they should be equal with or whatever. But like we have people come on set and come help us that haven't done as many things as I've done. They, you know, like, how good their work is a matter of opinion, but they don't have the experience that I have. But like, if I see or hear them doing something that I don't know how to do, I'm gonna ask them like, hey, how you do that? Or, you know, why are you doing this? Or why are you doing that? Or like, what things can I add to my tool belt? Cause, you know, it's an ever evolving thing. Like being a creative is an ever changing thing. There's so many different situations you can end up in, you know, lighting situations, what types of equipment you're working with. Like I may not get to shoot on the type of camera that I use every time I go shoot. So somebody who doesn't do as much as me, but they shoot on the Canon, well, you can teach me how to use this Canon camera that I don't know how to use. Yeah. So I think it's just a lot of small things that you can take from people and learning. And I think the last thing I'll say is always having someone that you are like trying to catch up to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Having Morgan Cooper as a person whose work I really watch and like think is great and like the next level that I'm trying to get to, like really pushes me to try to do better every time, so that like, you know, hopefully in the next 6 months, the next year, I look at something I've done and I'm like, oh, this is Morgan Cooper quality. Like I'm getting close. I'm close to where I'm trying to go.
Yeah, you have that target in mind.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's a huge thing as well.
Okay, I know I said that was the last question, but this is the last question. What are you shooting on?
When we shoot the music videos?
Mm-hmm.
This is probably going to surprise a lot of people because I had a guy actually hit me the other day and he was like, the videos are so crispy and blah, blah, like they look super clean. You shoot on an Ari, huh? I was like, nah, bro, I do not shoot on an Ari. I wish I shot on an Ari. Which goes to show you the gear doesn't always matter. But I have, so before y'all start bashing me, because of this
Uh-oh. I don't like where this is heading.
Look, this brand of camera gets a bad rap. And I started using it because one of my best friends from high school, he did photography before I got started, and this is what he used. So this is how I got grandfathered in to the Nikon world.
Oh my God.
Just hang up the call.
We gotta go.
Episode's over.
All you Nikon users out there, don't listen to these haters.
Bro, your camera wouldn't even turn on earlier.
Yeah. We're here now, though.
Bro, my heart broke when you said, yeah, teach me how to use this Canon camera that I don't know anything about. I'm like, oh.
Look, and that makes it even better. I'm out here doing this on a Nikon. No, but I shoot with an Atomos Ninja 5. So that's what we record like all the videos through.
Okay.
So yeah, my Nikon is just like the vessel. That's not what like, you know what I'm saying? That's not the camera we're using per se.
Yeah, it's not pure Nikon.
And that's another thing about me. I'm not a big like gear guy. I don't really like, I can't tell you the newest camera that's coming out or like.
Well, that's refreshing.
I can't tell you the specs and I don't know, yada, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it's kind of picture that I want, yay or nay, and I kind of move along with it. But I want my next camera to be like, you know what I'm saying, like a serious like cinema, like a Red or.
Canon makes great cinema cameras. I'm just, throw that out there. Something to consider. You
Canon users are so arrogant.
We're like iPhone users, when you have the best, it's like, what is there really to talk about?
We're just trying to spread the gospel, bro. That's all it is. That's it. We're just missionaries.
All right, man. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us today, being the first official guest, and then coming on with the Creatives Are Essential hoodie. Reasons why I love you.
I'm repping always.
All the time.
People be like, oh man, your hoodie fire, where you get it from? I'm like, right here. Let me go ahead and put this in there for you. I'm gonna even push the follow button for you.
That's love. That's love.
Yeah, we appreciate you, bro.
I'll come back for episode 100.
No, we're gonna have you on before then.
Oh, you ain't say nothing but a thing.
Real quick though, tell people where they can follow you and on all the different platforms. Yeah,
I am at WiseBoyPhoto on Instagram, at WiseBoyPhoto on Twitter. I think I'm at WiseBoyPhoto on Facebook too. I don't have a Clubhouse yet.
Coming soon.
I will very soon. And let me take this opportunity to tell people what Wise Boy means. Because my wife tells me I need to explain it to people. And I just be saying wise boy, wise boy, wise boy. So wise boy means wise. The wise is by itself, but the BOY is beyond our years.
Oh, okay.
I like that.
So it's not like people are like, oh, you just calling yourself a wise boy? You're a wise boy? I'm like, no. wise beyond our years. That's what that means.
That's dope. I like that.
Yeah, you look like you got some real annoying DMs.
Not even wise man.
Exactly.
Wise boy.
Exactly. You're gonna be a boy for the rest of your life. You're almost 30. I'm like, look, that's not what it is. But
I like
what's
that.
up.
I like it.
yeah, people typically like it after they find out what it's about. Like people are real like when they first hear that.
Wise boy. I like that. All right, man. Appreciate you.
Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying, waiting on me. I'll just go ahead and tell the viewers I was a little late today.
Don't tell on yourself, man.
Yeah, we ain't gonna talk about how your Nikon was like failing you in the beginning. It's all good though. Like you said, you here now.
We're not gonna blame it on my Nikon. We're gonna blame it on this new gaming laptop that I bought. No, I need to take that joint back. We're on the Mac. We're on the MacBook now on my trusty MacBook. So
come on.
Thank God.
That's why we've had no issues except for the one issue.
Progress. Canon will be next. One step at a time. All right, y'all. Thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of Creatives Are Essential Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on whatever platform you're using, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, whatever. And follow Creatives Are Essential on Instagram and pick up some Creatives Are Essential merch while you're at it. Again, I got my brothers with me, Will Stitt, Joe Stitt.
Peace.
I'm Christina, and we will see you next time. Peace.
Later.